Welcome, my name is Rich, and this is a Let's Play of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, wherein I shall explore the game, critique it, talk about where I think influences from the story came from, talk about silly things that I notice, or anything that comes to mind, really. This is not a super high skill playthrough. I'm not going to claim to be an excellent player of games. I just take things at my pace and derive enjoyment from the story being told, the environments, the music and sound. I do quite like the action elements, the action RPG style. I've played a few games of a few different action RPGs recently, and I find I quite like the combat in this game, actually. It's not like super high speed, super kinetic. And there are some clunky things, but I like it. We have some quests here in the cathedral or church in Rathir, to the church to Lyria, that we're going to pick up because I realized, well, I was down in Datir, in Apatir last time, and then I realized I hadn't actually gone into the Magic Academy, the Scholia Arcana in Rathir. I'd figured, with the gates closed and the ward on them, that meant that they were shut. But I decided to try, see if they could open, and they did. That was my bad. That was my assumption. That was incorrect. Yeah, Temple of Lyria. There we go. Okay, so not quite a church, but anyway. So we have some quests to pick up. And then we'll head back south into Datir, I think, once we're done with these.
Tell me, what brings you to this sacred place? For prayer? For the weaving of your fate? Or for the orison?
I don't know what an orison is.
There is something peculiar about you. The threads are... But you know of this, don't you? Then you are the one. I had heard rumors, but never thought... Well, it is good to meet you. You have drawn Lyria's attention. May I look into your cards?
If you want. I don't really want Lyria's attention, but okay.
It is said that our goddess is the goddess of magic. But by so being, she is goddess at the heart of things, of mystery, and the true weaver of fate.
That's a broad portfolio.
This temple was founded by Bayala Tirin herself, mother and prophetess of our people. It was High Priestess Tirin who led our people from Glen Suthan. It was she who found Rathir. It was she who sheltered and guided us, who made us who we are. Though few of your kind do, all are welcome to the orison. Perform 3 tasks of devotion to Lyria, and in exchange, earn her blessing. Sojourn, service, and giving. They wind from outward to inward, and from the depths of our history to this very moment.
Sojourn means a journey, or to leave, I think. Let me look it up. I have a broad understanding of the term, but let's get specific. What does sojourn mean? To stay somewhere temporarily. A temporary stay. A sojourn in Rome. Okay, so you sojourn to a place. You leave and stay there temporarily. Okay. And then service and giving are obvious.
It is no idle turn of phrase. Though you gave of yourself to earn it, your gain will be greater than the sacrifice. It began when you entered this temple. The first task is the sojourn. Have this. It is an amphora. With it, travel to the 3 springs blessed by Priestess Tyrion on her sojourn from the north. Fill the amphora with some of each spring. One is just outside Rathir, a second in Lower Galafor. The third is in Snowmelt Pass.
So, yeah, okay, I'll do this task. And she just hands me a jug. Go and fill this up. Oh, okay, thanks. Cool. Welcome, Marhawkman. Serenon, one of the nicest NPCs in the game. I have to say, the other priestesses of Lyria have kind of put me off. So let's see whether she can earn back any goodwill.
Bring the amphora I gave you to each of the 3 sacred springs. They are just north of Rathir, in southern Galafor, and in Snowmelt Pass. When you are done, return to me.
Okie dokie. I noticed that there was a chest in here, or no, an object. Oh, dresser, okay. And it would be stealing to take anything from it. Celia Twain.
Welcome to our temple. I am a daughter of Lyria, one of many sons and daughters who have devoted themselves here. My station is to look after the relics sacred to our order. Sadly, many of the relics we once had are now lost.
The one lady wasn't a real priestess. See the robes Serenon wears? That lady who was siphoning magic out of the Fae was not wearing the robes of a priestess. Oh, okay. She claimed to be, though. And then got pissy at me and said that it was my fault that she no longer had any power. Which, I mean, I guess is technically true. I freed the Fae that she had unjustly imprisoned and was leeching from.
The Lunar Gardens, or sometimes the Garden of Eternal Night, dedicated to the goddess Lunala. How it works is a mystery.
How gardens work is a mystery. Okay. Is this some kind of poor people problem that I am too rich to understand?
Lunala is goddess of night, the moon, and what is hidden. It is said she is Lyria's handmaiden, or her daughter, or her younger sister.
Serenon has magic powers and didn't steal them as far as I know. She certainly is a Fate Weaver, which implies some level of mystic ability, although quite how much magic a Fate Weaver actually possesses, it's not made clear
the goddess of
by
magic,
the game.
Fate, mysteries. We believe that order and chaos are how others want the world to be. But Lyria is concerned with what is, and what can truly change it. True wisdom is knowing the one and grasping the other.
I suppose we don't know a lot about what Serenon can do. Fair enough. I mean, none of the NPCs in the game really get to show off much, except for the ones that you accompany in combat, and those are few and far between. And of them, some die immediately because they don't have plot protection, and some, like Agarth, do have plot protection and therefore survive.
All are welcome here to pray, to reflect and find peace. If you seek fate weaving or the orison, you should speak with the High Priestess. Priestess Saranen oversees the temple. Though her station is high, she is gracious and open to all who visit. She will weave your fate if you ask, or lead you on the sacred ritual we call the orison. You should speak with her if you wish to know more. It has left so many scars on our city, our souls, and the land beyond. Nor has it stopped taking life.
Pretty sure orison is a word as well. A prayer. Yeah, I thought so. Ah, yes, that's why I know the word. It's so in D&D 5th edition, I think is when it started, but maybe 4th. So in D&D for 3rd and 4th edition, maybe 2nd, I don't remember. wizard spells of 0 level, so before level 1 spells, like basic, very, very easy, low cost spells, were called cantrips. And then certainly in 5th edition, I don't remember whether 4th did, but we'll assume 5th, priests or clerics got clerics have always had 0 level spells, as long as not always, for as long as wizards have had 0 level spells, clerics have also had 0 level spells, but they didn't have a specific term for the group. But in 5th edition, they got called orisons or orisons. So collectively, the very, very basic, and also it's worth bearing in mind that the way that clerics and also paladins, I think, now that I'm recalling, the way that holy casters in D&D cast their magic is through prayer and contact with their god, basically. So an orison in D&D is a small prayer to their patron deity, which produces a very small, low-level effect. So it's odd to have kind of a pilgrimage described as an orison in this game. So maybe not pilgrimage. Maybe there's another word that does more accurately describe a series of tasks with a religious purpose and goal. I don't think that I would have chosen orison as the word. Anyway.
When the war first came, we sent one out to every stronghold keep. This served 2 purposes. It brought faith and strength to our soldiers there, and if Rathir fell, some relics might still remain. We have announced a gold reward for their return, but sadly, none have yet come back to us.
That's because I've got them all.
Please do. There are at least 6 that I know of, sent to the major strongholds of the plains of Erethel. Bring any you find to me. Lyria rewards those in her favor.
How many have I got? It's 3, I think.
The great Alfar strongholds of Erethel are Dolve Arn, Verki, Rithen, Candrian, Dolve Whale, and Corgan Hold.
Maybe I do have 6.
More than 1!
Oh.
Truly, Lyria's fortune shines upon you. Take this as a token of her gratitude.
Lyria's fortune smiles upon me? No, I just steal everything that's not nailed down.
They were primarily sent to the strongholds of the plains of Erethel, but any that you find will be gladly welcomed and thanked with gold.
Nice.
So long.
Right, let's go and do this religious pilgrimage.
Move along.
Wow, that's forceful. Is that really necessary? Which is the Snowmelt Pass? Oh well, let's just go here and hope that we see something useful on the local map. Ah, okay, there we go. There's one. There's another. And there's the third. Okay. So, north first, I suppose. Oh, hello.
Ah, mortal. 'Tis done now. My powers are my own, and the balance of Galafor has been restored. I have shown White Nil the nature of his soul. It appears he could not accept it, and now he will forever be a prisoner of his own mind.
Seems fine.
The years I spent within that cove were unending winter, yet my feet touched the soil of this vale, and that is what sustained me.
So if they, what, moved him or made it so that he couldn't touch the ground, he would have withered, at least lost his power? That's interesting.
My strength and powers are returned. If you are injured, it would please me to be of help.
Oh, that's nice.
This one is like a tree whose bark holds strong, but is rotten in its heart. I did no more than show him the truth of his ways. Perhaps it is not evenly balanced. After all, he will die so soon, less than a century, and then the torments he suffers will fade away.
Indeed.
The moment you broke her spell, the power she stole returned to me. Yes, she used it as I would have done, to heal and nurture and protect. Therefore I did not treat her with a heavy hand, as I did with Nil the White.
You went softer on her than I would have.
And there the mortal goes. Prison breaker.
Well, I've out-leveled this zone, haven't I? It is interesting that you don't get to see relative power levels, except for... oh shit, stop it. Except for the colour of their names. Wow, I'd forgotten about... how the combat feels. Yeah, the attack's not facing the way that you want them to go, and having no ability to redirect them is, to like lock on, I mean, to an enemy is super irritating. Yeah. I wonder how I'm really filling that amphora, like properly, because, well, I suppose, I mean, first of all, okay, yes, so first of all, when you dip a vessel into water, any water that's already inside kind of flows in and out a bit, or it tends to. So, am I not just mixing waters from different wells? Or springs? But then again, does it actually matter that much? I mean, isn't it just water, or like slightly holy water? Maybe, at most. Does it really matter that much if I... Oh, this is where I want to be going. Yes, broadly, but it would have been faster to go this way. Okay, anyway. He's decided he wants to have a go, does he? Right. How did I go for you? Was it everything you hoped for? Ooh, hello. Edelweiss. Nice. Magic is weird like that. No, that's not... Where do I... Oh, can I just wade through the water? Okay. Oh, hello. I wonder where that boggart's gone. Did it despawn? Or has it wandered off? Huh, this whole place is a magic spring. I wonder why I need to be at the waterfall. Or why is it the waterfall specifically? I mean, I suppose they had to place a node that I could interact with somewhere. But, like, if all of this is magic holy water of Lyria, why does it need to be at this specifically? Like, could it not be over here? Or has it flowing across the plains tainted the water somehow? Could I, if I could climb, if my character was capable of climbing, could I get more pure holy water from higher up? That was the last one. Over here, okay. Dolleon's probably the closest that I can get to, because if I click on Rathir, it'll take me... Oops, no. It'll take me, like, inside the zone, and I'd have to load again to leave it. Hasn't he left yet? I thought I got him his stuff.
Wish me luck on the field of battle. Thanks to you, I'm going there well prepared.
Okay, he just... Oh no, he's off now. No, he's not. He's still staying here. Okay. And this specifically is where I can get holy water from this spring. Not higher up, where a bridge crosses it. Like, this isn't holy water. And it's not even that I can't reach, because, well, I mean, maybe this is taller than the first spring I visited, but not by a huge amount. Or maybe if I come over here, can I not get magic spring water from here? Or holy spring water, I suppose. Okay. The other person in...
Come, have a look.
the temple.
Do not miss Leogryph's many marvels.
City Watch, be on your way.
The other person that gave me quests in the temple did list the various strongholds of the Arathi Plains. Is it Arathi Plains? Arathel Plains, okay. Or Plains of Arathel. She did list the other places, all the places that I could get relics from, or should be able to find relics in. But I don't know which ones I've visited and which ones I haven't. I guess I could probably find the list online and just visit all of them in order, and loot everything. Although, maybe the two missing ones are inside warded chests, and I won't find them until I actually go through and open all the warded chests I can find. Ah well, it's not that important.
The amphora is full? Good. I will hold that for now. So you have seen what Baal-Atiran saw, and walked where she walked. Now hear what our prophetess taught. From the frozen north, she led our forebears across the plains to Snowmelt Pass. There she promised all a place.
What frozen north? You can't get much further north than Snowmelt Pass, because that's coast. Across the plains is east and west, really. On the wiki it claims one of Lyria's relics is simply unobtainable. There is a hint as to the location, but no one has ever found it apparently. Weird.
At Snowmelt Spring, above the sea, they turned to see the far-off shores they had left behind, and all was sore of heart. Baal-Atiran consoled them then. Forget what you left behind, she said. We go to a new home, where each shall have a place. And then they came to the pools of Galafor Plain, where she taught that Lyria's grace is like the waters all around.
Kind of wet.
From there, they continued east until they stood upon the bluffs and saw this spire. There, Tyrion taught us of the 3 gifts.
Yeah, okay.
Now you know what you need to know. You are ready for the second task.
What's the second task?
It is service. Each seeking the Orison must serve Lyria among her people. For you, there is a man named Nur in the lower tunnels. Day and night he profanes the name of Lyria with falsehoods. Discredit his words before the ears of my children. Drive him away from there. To do this, you must rely on the teachings of the Sojourn. Shall I repeat them for you now? Good.
No,
Go
I'm
then,
good.
and do Lyria's work.
What's wrong with Nur anyway? I mean, how exactly is he profaning the word of Lyria?
Yes. Go to where he preaches lies in the lower tunnels of this city. Challenge him. Prove him false. Shame him and drive him away. I think the lessons of the Sojourn will help you in this. Do you wish to hear them again? Good. Go then, and do Lyria's work. If you fail at first, persist.
I think I did this one before, in my first playthrough.
Nice day. Don't ruin it.
Wow, that's a bit of a change from his usual tune.
Curios, talismans, items of power.
Them that can't sleep in houses.
Why is he trying to censor this dude? Like, and what would he gain exactly from falsely
Careful, it's slippery.
from like spreading the words of Lyria but wrong? Alright, let's save in case I get this conversation wrong.
Careful, it's slippery.
Thanks, that's really nice of you to warn me. I have yet to slip, but I appreciate it.
A human more loved by Lyria than us? Tell me then, does Lyria not love those above more than she loves us? Why else would she put the fortunate upon the spire with her temple and cast us down here in the dark?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
What? Chains? You are a simpleton. The chains you cannot see are chains all the same. But what would you know of such things?
Alright, that didn't really go as I had hoped, but...
A poet then? Student of history? Lucky you, to have such fine books to steal your thoughts from. If you're so clever, then tell me, are we not fated? Did Lyria not place us down here by design? What do I? Why, you thick-skulled Arak! You petty snot-nosed! Look at what they do! They trick you, they... Forgive me, my friends. But you do not deny it, then? You admit that Lyria gave us our lot? Gave us nothing but these dank caves and a few meager coins?
She gave the 3 gifts.
What? Child's nonsense! Boulder all for empty heads! Why are you all looking at me that way? Surely you don't believe in such lies. And if they are true, you are still here. Bah! You are all sheep. Cling to your goddess then. You are caged sheep. Keep to your pens.
I do not understand that at all. Like, okay, yeah, he's annoyed that people are in poverty. That's reasonable. But why was he not trying to organize people to get better? Like, why was he not trying to organize a community effort?
Better the than Chloricon, I always say.
To, like, because you could try and at least make this place a better one to live in somehow. Like, you're not completely cut off from all resources, surely. And even if you are, you can still make the community feeling amongst the people stronger. Why?
Wow, you're fearsome.
Why would he need to turn people against Lyria, specifically? I think the point of it was that he was getting his thing started by making people unhappy with life based on falsehoods. Okay, like, was he trying to build an anti-Lyria
Do not miss Leogriff's many
In the
marvels.
market these days.
movement? To try and tear down the spire, I guess? I mean, listen, if you want to equalize people and bring down the rich, then I'm all behind that. But like, where did dissing Lyria come from? Why that falsehood? Hard to say. Yeah. I guess they took a top-down approach rather than a bottom-up. So like, they needed you to do a thing that was in service to Lyria. So They put in someone dissing Lyria to go and discredit and then come back. Like, instead of thinking about it from, so why is there somebody who is upset at the rich in the Spire? And why is he against Lyria? Like, they could have spun this more nuancedly, with more nuance. Like, are the religious leaders of Lyria only female? Can you only have priestesses of Lyria? Was she annoyed at this dude preaching Lyria because he was a guy and wanted him to cut that out? Like, that would have been a more interesting storyline. Instead, this doesn't really feel like it makes any sense. Other than just, hey, we need you to do a religious service, and the best thing we can think of that isn't a literal, like, fucking crusade or jihad is discredit a charlatan.
Word has come to me of your service. You defended our faith and Rathir's image admirably. You have reached the final task. It is not far off. In fact, it is standing before me at this very moment. It is the giving, and you give it of yourself. When you are ready, tell me so.
What does that even mean?
The sparrows are rag pickers and dwell in the lowest of the tunnels. Still, Lyria loves them too, perhaps most of all.
Because Lyria is a bird?
First, you must choose. Give of yourself the wisdom you have gained, or give a magic gem of the highest water, or give in gold a sum of great worth. Do you understand?
So, is giving of myself giving up a chunk of XP? Magical gem. I don't know if I have one of those. I could probably swig a potion and then craft something that's correct, even if I don't have it. And I've got plenty of gold, but I'm curious about...
Yes, some of your experience offered as a sacrifice to Lyria. This was the original giving, and still that which she loves the most.
I mean, yeah, okay. It's not like earning experience is difficult.
Excellent. Tell me, which do you choose?
10% experience. That's a lot of gold.
Then by Lyria's light and Tyrion's teaching, I, priestess of this temple, receive your gift and conclude the orison. You have walked the path of our ancestors, spoken the words of our prophets, and given truly of yourself. Lyria guard you, Lyria guide you, and may her blessing be upon you.
And the middle slot of those three options was missing, presumably because I didn't have the right gem. Which is fair enough.
You have seen for yourself. Many in Rathir perform the rite once, maybe twice in a lifetime. The work is hard, but the aura is slow to fade.
That's interesting.
You have done well. Be proud.
I wonder how everyone gets... what everyone does for the service part. Then, if everyone does it. Do they have an equal number of charlatans to go and discredit? What do I want? Statuses. Effects. The Orison. You have walked the sojourn, performed the service, and given the gift of Rathir's temple. At Rathir's temple, you have earned Lyria's gift, known as the Orison, and it shall be with you for all your days. Nice. Minus 5% mana costs. That's not nothing. So, back to the tier. Did I have anything else to do down here? there was probably something with the mayor.
Good day.
I
Yeah?
didn't think I've been in here actually, so I should check to see if there's any quests. Ah, yes, there are quests. Good-o. Glad I checked. You would think they might come up with a better way of bracing all of this.
Hey!
If they weren't going to, like, cut away the stone, which would probably be a better option.
Welcome to the Thirsty Wench. I'm Bera Grastar,
The Thirsty
owner,
Wench.
innkeep, and namesake.
Ah,
we
yes,
don't
there
get
we
many
go.
strangers in Whitestone, at least not since motors pulled out and the mercenaries dug in. What can I get you?
Owner and namesake, there we go.
Not everyone in Apatir worked for one of the big mining families, but most of them did. And when the work dried up, they stayed with their crews. Only now they're robbing travelers and kidnapping merchants instead of digging. Only thing we dig in Whitestone these days are graves. He's fine as far as nobles go, although he doesn't exactly fit in around here. He lacks that important layer of filth that comes from growing up in Apatir.
So he doesn't have an important layer of filth. So what exactly is he doing for 23 hours a day if he gets an hour of sleep a night, as he claims?
Barely worth my breath, those bastards. Tell me, is it right to build a town and then suddenly leave it to rats? I don't think so either. The gnomes of Motus Mining have the people's hopes to answer for. They know better than to ever show their faces in Apatir again. You mean Steg? He's a good kid. Dumb as a plank, but sweet as they come. I really hope he gets out soon so he and Rindy can be together.
Yeah, unfortunately that didn't work out for him, but he is out at least.
Sure, we've got a few available, but they'll cost you. Nothing comes cheap in Whitestone.
420 blaze at gold. No thanks.
It's your choice. Not many places to sleep in Whitestone where the rats won't get at you. Mayor Eswin should leave them alone. That's about all I have to say about it. The Scorias are family to everyone in Whitestone. Yeah, they come into town every so often, looking to socialize, I guess. Best keep your eyes on your belongings. There's a whole camp of them east of here near the cliffs. I think they call it Sun Camp. That was a joke.
That skipped a voice line. A section of voice line. I'm pretty sure that it said, no idea why. I call it Sun Camp, no idea why. That was a joke. I don't know why it was a joke, but okay.
Same old faces, same old troubles. Whitestone hasn't changed much since the gnomes left us to the wastes. The mercenaries are new and good for business. We do have a few visitors, Alpha and a traveller to boot. I'd better watch out or the thirsty wench is going to get all respectable.
You? Respectable? Nah.
Don't tell anyone, but I've run out of meat to serve the customers. If these louts find out, they're liable to start a riot. Do you have any meat with you? I'll pay you good money for it.
What's this then? Maybe it's the last of the meat, in which case fair enough. Yeah, I'd get some. I'm not going to give you, like, spider meat or rat meat or anything. But there should be antelope around, I expect.
Okay, I guess that's better than nothing. I don't care where you get it, as long as it smells like meat when I place it over the fire. Hurry up with some meat, or it'll be my bones they'll be eating.
I don't think they'd go that far, but it certainly wouldn't be good. Alright. What else is there to do? Hello, friend.
Are they giving you a hard time around here, too? Whitestone, a boot full of vipers, this place. Can't stand it. And after everything we've done for them down in Sun Camp, you'd think they'd be more appreciative. And starvation's too good for the mayor, I say.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But what exactly have Suncamp been doing for the town? Oh, wait, no, hold on. They trade with them, don't they? Don't know what Whitestone is trading in exchange. Maybe stone, bits of rock.
It wasn't my life plan to become a traveler, believe me. But sometimes necessity is the only star you follow. My parents were miners and worked themselves to the bone to provide. When the Terrenium dried up, so did they, you could say. I didn't want to leave Apatir, so I stayed. He's as corrupt as they come, but I shouldn't be one to speak, not with my associations. Still, it's one thing to say you're a crook, and another to pretend you're not.
Yeah, there's something to be said for honesty about things.
Some of us join because we have to. Others expect it to be an adventure. We're a patchwork, really, a glorious patchwork of imperfection. We're travelers by affiliation, but we specialize in fair exchange of goods and services. Not to say we won't steal, it's just not our stock and trade. You'll find us east of here, past the old Motors Mining Headquarters building, just shy of the seaside cliffs. You should stop by, it's quite a view. Silly question. Who doesn't hate the mayor? We travelers had a good thing going here in Whitestone. The people came to us for their needs. We had a relationship. Now Mayor Eswin says trading with travelers is illegal, and as a result, the folks of Apatir won't touch us. I'm surprised they even let me into town without a fight.
How exactly does he expect people to get any supplies if they can't trade with the only traders who come here?
You're welcome to give it a go, but I can't promise you'll get anywhere. That old mansion was built by the gnomes back when they first settled the village. It's got more hidden corners than a spider web. I doubt old Eswin's even seen all of it. I doubt the old mayor has either. Maybe I'll show some initiative eventually. Until then, you're welcome to make us both look good. It's a good town, or it was before the Motus disaster and the mercenaries. I have fond memories of Whitestone. I used to buy candy at Varric's place. Simpler times. The doors are locked, so I'm guessing there are keys required. That's usually how the arrangement works.
Well,
Bye.
not necessarily. I can probably pick the locks, as long as they're not protected by plot. Who's this? Squire Corran. Asleep on the table.
What is it? Can't you see I'm celebrating? That's right. Raise a glass, friend. Let's make a toast to cowards.
Yep, certainly looked like you were celebrating to me. Face down on the table, surrounded by beer... well, maybe not beer bottles, but bottles. Probably of wine, actually.
I walk the wall of Melsenshire. Do you know what that's like? The silence breathes. The shadows move. Every night is a lifetime. No drink can drown those memories.
Yeah. Some shadows move, if they're attached to living things. Or, well, moving things.
What's there to say? The Tuatha just keep growing bolder, and our numbers fewer. Not like the people of Apatir care. They've got their own problems. This village is as good as any. I've seen many such places, all of them ravaged by the war, all of them feeling the distant decay of the Tuatha. There is no escape. I've made a choice, you see. After much deliberation and many pines, I've decided to disobey my direct superiors and not perform my duties. To the fires with orders. I'm finished delivering death notices. I've seen the faces of the war dead. I've no desire to look into the eyes of their loved ones.
I might get more information by doing this, even though asking what are your duties after he's just told me that he is delivering death notices would make me seem like an idiot.
I volunteered to be a messenger, to bring death notices from the War Council to the families of the deceased. I thought it would be welcome respite from the war. It's been its own kind of hell. I got through some of them, but by the time I reached Rathir, I was done. You would do that. It would keep me from getting discharged, for I'm not going back. Here are the death notices. Take this medicine as well. I have my own right here. Ironic, isn't it? I can face the enemy, but I can't face the families of those who fought beside me. Pathetic. Your energy will not be spent in vain. I will pay you well to do this for me, but the road will be long and fraught with grief.
It's alright, I've got some grief-proof paper here.
Tell them what you want. Won't change what has happened. Their sons and daughters are gone. No one can soften that blow.
Family's dead, fam.
Goodbye.
Careful out there.
See if there are any quests in here. No, it doesn't look like it. Oh yeah, I spoke to him, didn't I? Wait, did I? Yes. Because the only other places that you can enter are here, which I can't get a bead on, or the Thirsty Wench. These two are places that you can access from inside here.
Keep your eyes open. Mind yourself.
Is there something you need? I'll do what I can to make your task easier.
What was his mission for me again?
Quarry is very near, in the canyon to the south. It's the most important facility in Rathir. Not a piece of ore can be refined without it. It's a pity the Sinric family won't let anyone inside.
Oh, right. Okay. Just get into the Sinric thingamy place. How did a hollow log get in here? What's this do? 20% damage, better than just 10% physical damage. Do lose the 5% gold drops, but I would gain chance to critical hit, which is rather good. Equip you to here, I think. That's a very nice ring. Mayor's Villa unlocked with the key to Mayor's Villa. What a coincidence! The key to the Mayor's Villa opened the door that can only be opened with the key to the Mayor's Villa. Would taking this get me immediately spotted by... Hey, there's more of that ore. Possibly? Is that ore in rock? Or is it just two types of rock? Can't really tell. There's definitely samples on this shelf though. Oh, weird. I'd forgotten about this. Very hard. Alright, let's give this a shot, see if it only costs me 2 picks. Oh, only 1 pick cost. Okay, nice. What do we have in here? What do you do? Ooh. Not quite as good. Found by an expedition of gnomes in the Northern Isles, this seashell necklace aids in almost any combat situation. If only this purple item were as good as this blue item, which does exactly the same thing, but also gives me more crit. This official document was written and stamped by the former mayor of Whitestone. It appears to implicate a traveller by the name of Leanne Ardeen in a cover-up involving the poisoning of miners and their families. Wow. Before my fate goes black, before the folds of death envelop me, I wish to confess one last act, one that puts all my others to shame. When the gnomes at Motus Mining attempted to test the new sluice mechanism, much of the contaminants they were hoping to divert from the runoff ended up in the river. The Snaketail River is a water source for many citizens in this burnt land, and I cannot rest knowing I am responsible for their deaths. I needed aid in covering up this tragedy, may I be damned. I found this aid from the travellers, one in particular by the name of Lena Ardeen. With Lena's help, I was able to keep the public ignorant, although Motus did learn of these actions and planned their abrupt exit. I cannot continue with this on my conscience. I cannot. I have been a tool of the gnomes, and I am forever marked as such. Mayor Wesley Taklari. So is that the reason that the gnomes left? You find a ragged document written in a shaky hand. It is a signed confession by the former mayor of Whitestone, Mayor Taklari. Why would Lena be so interested in this? Why indeed? What a mystery! We shall never know the answer. On Alchemy, Compendium 8. No, 7. No, 8. Yes, there we go. Compendium... Letter to Mayor Eswin. If you know what's good for you, you'll release the boy Steg from that pen in the centre of Whitestone. You don't want any trouble from the Darkvari family. From what I understand, you've got enough snakes to wrangle. Take my advice and let the boy go. It'd be a pity to get that fine white throat cut. Yeah, I don't think that the Darkvari family is a problem anymore. Certainly not after I've killed all of them. Letter to Mayor Eswin. The water spots left by tears are clearly visible on the paper of this heartfelt letter. Wow, that's a lot of letter. St. Grastar. I hope you are faring very well after your recent arrival in Whitestone. Don't be fooled by the dust and the heat. Apotir can be quite beautiful, especially in the evenings when the stars show their faces, peeking out from behind the smoke of Odessa's fires. You won't find a better view of the heavens anywhere. My sister Senda, or Kenda perhaps? No, that's probably Sender, suggested that I write to you on behalf of our family, the Grastars. We are a clan of proud, simple people, miners by trade, originating from the western lands of Myria, where our family supported Almir in his unification of the Almain tribes. It has always been our way to fight for what we believe and to labour hard for the roof over our head, the clothes that keep us warm, and the meals that fill our bellies. It is not our way to take our blessings for granted, but I can stay silent no longer. My daughter Tyne is dying. My mother says it's the water in the snake tail, but the gnomes assured us that it was clean. Their scholars tested it time and again. Still, my little girl coughs blood. It is terrible to hear, Mr. Elfhelm. Yeah. Mr. Elfhelm. A wet cough that shades the sun and turns the blood to ice. I can barely bear to hear it. Sometimes, when the night falls and the fits shake my Tyne, I slip outside to marvel at the stars and to wish myself far away from this desert death. All of my life I've embraced the rolling dunes of Apatir. Now I see only graves waiting to be dug. You are the mayor of Whitestone, the leader of the people here in Apatir. Can you not demand that the gnomes take responsibility for the pain they've brought upon us, their willing servants? They will not listen to us. They've ignored our pleas for aid. My father has even travelled to Edessa to confront the Templars of the Basilica Nostra, to no avail. They turned him away, claiming that the secrets of their people could not be shared. Of course, these same secrets may be killing us. Please, Mayor Eswin, if you have any compassion, you will seek me out. Or better yet, you will go straight to the source of our agony and get the truth from the gnome scholars of Motus mining interests, those responsible for the disaster that has befallen us all. As the old Apatir saying goes, our bones are stone, our hearts the sun. We may be born of the dark halls, but we rise into light. Thank you for reading this, and Mitharu bless you. Your friend, Heste Grasta. Well, that sucks. Wonder if I can fast travel from here. Well, obviously I can fast travel from here, because I'm outside, but I can't... No, never mind. I can't fast travel to here, which is why I was thinking.
What are you looking at?
You. Is that a problem?
Careful out there.
Wow, there was even a death notice to deliver here in town.
Yes, what is it? We're not supposed to speak with the citizens. What's there to say? It's an unfortunate affair. I don't foresee anyone coming out the better for it. I only hope that many return from the front lines unharmed. Nothing to tell, really. My wife and I lived in Rathir, until we had to take work elsewhere. She in the army and me with this rough outfit. I hate being apart.
That sucks.
Same as any place else, in my opinion. I just stick to the job. Guard, train, and rough up anyone who gets in the way of the mayor's plans. Joanne? You mean... my wife has died? I knew she sailed for Cluricon, but we got so little news here in Apatir. I told her the war wouldn't last. I insisted. And as usual, I was wrong. My wife was beautiful. She deserved better. I only wish I could have given it to her. I only wish I could have been there for her in the end. Thank you for telling me.
That's okay, my dude.
Joanne never wanted children. She said it was too harsh a world for young ones. Said we should use our lives to make a difference. I have to believe she was right. The army rejected me on account of my missing toes. So I came here to make extra coin while Joanne was away. To wait for her. Now it seems I'll wait forever.
As usual, how many things has he been horribly wrong about? Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be horribly wrong, or like involving death. Oh yeah. I need to go back to the inn and have a word with, what's her name? Leanne? Lean? I forget. The person who helped cover up the, crimes. What do these do? Mana regen. Don't much care about that. Not 1.5 of it. I can craft a gem that'll do better than that. Why am I taking rat meat? Why couldn't I take meat from the wolves? Look at this. This is diseased, fucking canker-ridden meat. Why could I not take meat from the wolves? Why has the game decided that I make the worst possible decision here? I could have gone and got gazelles. Or antelope or whatever they're called. But no, it's decided that the rats, now that I've got the quest to get meat, drop rat meat. Didn't realise it was so close. This is fucking Skaven meat. These horrible things. You love regen components. Fair enough. There's a dude to talk to here. Adath Scoria.
Who are you? What are you doing all the way down here? You'd think the Sinrics would be enough to keep anyone away. We have no leaders here. We are a family. I speak for the miners of Scoria only because I'm tired of the treatment and I care not if I live or die. To the fires with the Darkvari, the Sinrics, and the Zungars. They chose their paths as we did Scoria's. There is still such a thing as pride, as dignity.
It's a great voice for talking about pride and dignity, isn't it?
I was born and raised in these shafts and tunnels. The gnomes gave my people hope, only to turn their backs on us in our time of greatest need.
How long were the gnomes mining here? I mean, sure, maybe he went grey early, but like, he's an adult by now, and he said he was born and raised in the tunnels. He's probably like in his 50s or 60s, especially given his voice.
Yes, I know what you're thinking. What am I doing here? You should try living in a village where the mayor wants you dead. The miners of Apotyr know Sinric quarry well. It's a second home to most of us. where we once extracted Tyrenium and exported it to Edessa. While I don't agree with what the Sinrics are doing to survive, I do respect their refusal to back down. What has that snake told you? That I sold him scoria mine? I would never do such a thing. Just because he lives in the mayor's house doesn't mean he's a man of honor. Came here 6 months ago saying he was going to revitalize Whitestone. Ever since, my people have been captured or killed by his marauding hired swords. I remember when my uncles brought me to see it for the first time. Not long after the gnomes hired Papa Kester to be the first of our foremen. I found it beautiful. We have mined it for decades. No new mayor is going to take from us what has been earned through sweat and heartache.
Fair enough.
Before the recent ordeal, Whitestone was more than a village. It was a community. We cared for one another. We worked through our challenges together.
Seems like all of this happened only a few months ago. Like, the second letter that we found, well, the letter to the mayor. Yeah, no, the second letter. The first one was a threat, wasn't it? The second was talking about how the person's child was sick. And it was addressed to Eswin, the current mayor, not the previous one. And Eswin has only turned up a few months ago. So, like, yeah, the whole situation with the mines drying up can only have been a few months ago, less than a year. I wonder if the mines did even dry up. Did Motus not just leave because they knew they were making everyone sick by accident or through carelessness?
An agent of that snake Eswin, no doubt. You're not the first one he sent to scare me from my mine. I'll tell you what I've told the rest. That claim is scoria property. You can kill me, but it won't matter. Politicians come and go, they follow the money. But a man protecting his land will never leave it. You tell him that. If you wish to do the right thing, and there is a right thing, meet me later. I'll be staying with allies in Whitestone. It's the last place Eswin would look. Together you and I can save Apotia.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do that. I've got your claim, your deed to the mine.
I'm in hiding from Eswin's hired swords. Men and women like you. But I can see that you're a reasonable person. Do the right thing. Come see me again.
Will do. Oops, wrong buttons. Huh.
Go back to Eswin and tell him we won't...
Accidentally hit F. I thought because he was sitting down he was going to... Yeah, that I hadn't, like, interacted with him correctly, and that I hadn't started the thing going, such that I would get locked into conversation with him, but then, yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's get going. Thought maybe there might be some more stuff deeper in, but only unbroken boxes, no, well, unbroken crates, no enemies to kill. Oh no, this one. There we go.
Mind yourself.
Mind yourself, weirdo. Oh, that was all the meat I was required to acquire.
There. How can I help?
I can't sell her rat meat. I'll just hand it over. Come on, don't do this to me.
I thought I could smell meat on you. Thanks a lot. You really helped me out. Come back any time, and I'll buy more meat off of you.
It's horrible. What? Don't... What? They're not worth 600 gold each. Jesus Christ. What's this game making me do?
What are you looking at?
Ah, she's out over here. Okay. Let's go and have a civil conversation with her, shall we? And see how long we remain civil for. Or for how long we remain civil. Would probably be a slightly more correct sentence.
Hi there. Hi there. I've been following your progress. From a safe distance, of course. Can I have the document now?
No.
It's not your concern. Acquiring it was the important thing. Now that it's safe, it needs to be given to the proper parties so it can be destroyed.
Indeed.
So, you read the document, did you? Bad idea. I was supposed to get it out of here without anyone ever seeing it. Job well done, Lena.
Yeah.
The travelers weren't responsible for what happened in the Snake Tail. It was the gnomes. We helped prevent a panic. Imagine what would have happened if the people of Whitestone had found out the truth. Apatir would be in even worse shape than it is now.
What? Why are those my only two options? And we're just supposed to take her word for it, that things would have been worse if they'd known. Like, nothing gets fixed if nobody knows. Nothing gets better. Sucks.
You're just going to hand over that piece of paper for free? You wouldn't last a day in the Travelers, my friend. But I guess that's for the best. Here, you have to take something for your trouble. Go on, have some of my stuff. I can always get more. Or steal it.
What a garbage quest. What am I doing now? Let's go and talk to the mayor, shall we? And sort out the claim of the mining situation.
stranger.
Well, you wouldn't return unless you had something to tell me, am I right? Oh, Ideth laid it out for you, did he? Should have expected that. Well, let me put it this way. The days of the family mines are over. A new order has come to Apotir. The Darkvari, Sinriks, and the Zungars. I will deal with them in time. But the Scorias, they are different. They have the people's respect. And that is powerful. Listen to me carefully. If you walk away from this, from me, you will no longer be welcome in Whitestone. So tell me, friend, are we still partners?
Listen, if you want all of your mercenaries to die, then yeah, start a fight with me. That'll go real well for you.
This is a decision you will regret.
Doubt it.
You have my word on that.
Huh. And what's your word worth, eh? Nothing, apparently.
Mind yourself.
The guards don't give a shit. And they're certainly no more surly than with me than they were before. Where is he? Oh, he's upstairs, isn't he? Maybe that's downstairs. No, it's up here. Okay.
You came back? I'd hoped to the heavens, but... Well, it's hard to trust hope when you've lost everything. I have a proposition for you, if you're willing to take a risk to do what's best for the people of Apotir.
Yep. I mean, hopefully this will be asked in like a not surly way. Like, why should I help? What is helping you going to cause? Not like, why should I help you?
The reason is simple. Eswin is an outsider, yet he wishes to steal all that the people of Apotir have built, have slaved over. He has no right to this land. Don't you see? At heart, down deep beneath the finery and heavy pockets, he is a common criminal, a thug like his men. Go to the mine and recover a sample of Tyrenium and bring it back to me. Sounds like a simple task, doesn't it? You just wait. Take this ring. It is a Scoria family heirloom. It will help earn my cousin's trust. They guard the mine from bandits and mercenaries. It is across the trench near the empty old Motus headquarters. You'll find my cousins inside. They stay in the mine to defend it against Eswin's thugs.
I wonder how they get food down there. That would be the way to attack the mine. Not like charge in and try and beat people in their own home turf, but to stop everyone that was trying to leave or enter with supplies. Yeah, leave with, or leave for, or enter with supplies. How's it going, my dude? I've got a ring for you.
I'm reluctant to ask who you are. You see, we've had many visitors lately, and every one of them has meant us harm. I am Thelgud Scoria, and this is my mine. This mine is ours, so long as the Tyrenium remains. Those are the terms of the deed. He can talk to Motus mining interests in Hollowlands if he wishes to dispute it. It's been in our family for 2 generations, since the gnomes brought us down here to Apotir to build Edessa. We don't have much, but this mine is ours.
It's not just for the ore. It was to, what, quarry enough stone to build the whole of Edessa? So Edessa isn't that old, then? Edessa is a fairly recent building. Or, well, maybe they expanded it. But that's a lot of work. For less than 100 years, I want to say. Wild.
I'm the elder foreman of Scoria Mine. I used to work the caves of Erethel, but my cousin Athad recruited me for Motus mining. Look how well that turned out. This mine is Scoria owned and operated, and I'm not about to let some scraggly pit pony go out saying it. Besides, we've had to shut down operations on account of the beasties, not the ones outside. These are new. A few days ago in the stope, we struck something. What came out of that hole was nothing like I'd seen. Killed most of my men. Now we can't go down there. And neither can you. So turn around and start walking.
How did I get inside the grate? Also, I bet that what they found was a Niskaru summoning artifact or sealing artifact, and what's in here is Niskaru. So I'll be perfectly fine fighting them.
You know Adath? Well, you look like the kind of person he'd drag into the middle of this. Desperate.
Don't look
That's
that
your
bad.
choice. Have a go. I'm not going to bury you.
It's alright. You don't need to bury me. Well, how oh, come on, game. You can do better than this. Somehow I got teleported through the gate there. Yep, Niskara, as I thought. Didn't even need to check the mini-map. What do we have here? Gauntlets of Jotun strength. Jotun runecrafters bind healing magics into gauntlets to protect their reckless, battle-mad warriors. How exactly am I going to be able to manage to put on a pair of Jotun gauntlets? 10% health, 25 armor, 10% physical damage. Does increase my damage, and it's slightly more armor, but it doesn't give me as much health. Doesn't give me any mana. Doesn't give me any, well, no, 5%, 15% less block efficiency. No. I mean, they probably look good. Since you use chakrams, you're not doing much physical damage. Oh, do they not count as physical damage? I thought that they did, because they were a physical object rather than like pure magical attacks. But if chakrams don't actually count as physical damage, then fair enough. So, yeah, I mean, let's see what they look like on, because they'll probably look... Oops. Damn, I can't zoom in. They'll look interesting, but they're not... and they are purple, so I guess I'll keep them. But yeah, they're not actually anything that I care very much about. Look at a sword stats or hammer stats, then chakram. Oops. Do I have any swords? Oh, here we go. Physical damage. Lightning, shock damage. Physical, piercing. Okay, so some of it's physical, but a bunch of it is otherwise. I don't think that I have any other weapons in here, no. Maybe I shall break them down. And if I'm keeping all purple or higher gear, then I'll keep that as well, even though it's not as good as the current thing I've got equipped. That was a weird transition. So it was dark in here because I'm inside, but the game isn't good enough to have the differential shading. You are doing some physical, but chakrams do a lot of elemental damage. Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. So the game's not quite sophisticated enough to have the outside area there blown out compared with the inside area here. So like it is sophisticated enough to have different lighting depending on where I am, but it changes the lighting for everywhere depending on where I am, not just like... Oops, why have I... Oh, because I swapped them. Ooh. Cold spike. What are you? Hold on a minute. Fiery Silver Knight. Yeah, okay. Ooh, that's fancy. Yeah, and I wouldn't be doing any physical damage if I equipped this, would I? Just ice and a little bit of piercing. The variety and extravagance of the enchantments link this staff to the most ancient and traditional Fey workshops of the Winter Court. Nope. It doesn't have a very large range, does it? Fucking stop that. Attack the way I'm looking, would you? There we go. I wonder what the lighting issue is a limitation in. Was it a problem with the amount of time they had available? Or a problem with the engine that they were working in? I don't know what engine they were working with. Oh, come on! I fucking had him dead to rights. The slope fucking made the chakrams go over his fucking head. Come on. That will never not be irritating. If you're gonna have slopes in the game, make weapons do damage like fucking vertically as well, like every height vertically, because verticality doesn't come into the game at all, other than to screw the player in their ability to shoot or like attack people who are on a slope. Like I said before, this game feels generally incomplete to me. Yeah, fair enough. I think they did run out of cash or time. Combat dodging is fairly fluid though. They did quite well with the combat. Issues with targeting aside. Like, I've played some action RPGs, some other action RPGs recently that don't feel, or didn't feel, I mean, I'm not still playing them. I stopped when I decided I didn't like them. As you would. I've played a few other action RPGs recently that didn't feel as good combat-wise. Ooh, Salamander's Tail. Let's see what these are like, shall we? Fancy. Not quite as good. Bit less damage. Fire separates and renews. Fey proverb. So, what's that? 32 fire damage? Well, 20 plus 12 over 5 seconds. But it's increasing it by 5%. So I don't know what that would be. What's 5% of 20? Jesus, I can't even manage that in my head. And this is 30 damage plus 18 over 7 seconds. So it's obviously... it's doing less physical, but equal physical and piercing. Oh, plus the odd damage at night extra. Okay. So I guess I just included because it was the best component I had at the time. Yeah, alright. Well, they certainly look nice. Just shame the damage is a little bit lackluster. Oh, poor bugger. I'll take these as payment for cleaning the plate. Whoa, you've got a Niskaru Lord in here. That's bad news. Yeah. Practically anybody else would have been absolutely boned, eh? How's it going, Lumpy? Died of stab. Oops. Once he's dead, he becomes a much lighter physics object. But I can toss around, or at least briefly. Now I can run through him. Great. Ooh. Corthian Greaves. Let's have a look at the things that we have acquired, eh? So that's better armor. Melee block efficiency, extra armor, physical resistance, 40 health. Karia Aaron, a Dokofor warrior, charged into battle bare-chested, relying solely on enchantmented armors below her waist. Wild. Okay. So it's not doing me... I wonder whether 40 health is as much as 14% health. They're not as good, are they? That's a shame. Corthian. Corthian's the Chaos faction, isn't it? How many other pieces of Corthian stuff have I got? Have I got Corthian gloves? I think I have. Brought from distant lands by war and trade, this piece of armor is a remnant of the once mighty Corthian Empire. Yeah, I think I've got... If I'm thinking of the right term, because I might not be, I might have forgotten or gotten confused. There's a faction in the game that was an empire, an ancient empire, that all of their stuff looks super chaos, like Warhammer 40k chaos. Well, Warhammer chaos gear. Like there's a sword that looks like a Nurgle sword and a hammer that looks like a Khorne hammer, and the gauntlets have a big spike on them, and these... Well, there's not quite enough black to really be Chaos Warrior, I think, but they're still pretty chaosy. I'll have to go and check and see if I've got the gauntlets I've got are Corthian as well. But we've got a few pieces of gear that we want to place. Ooh, greater charge grip, nice. Don't care about that. Chakrams of execution will be crit, won't it? Chance to critical hit. Yes, there we go. Take and break down 4 components, because I can probably get something rather nice out of them, can't I? Okay, Noble's longsword will be... They don't have a health component in it, so it might be worth taking. Noble's... Noble will be 60%, 60 health, not percent health. Wow, jeez. Imagine a component that gives you 60% health. That'd be a lot. Ooh, Noble's Cowl. That'll have a health component as well, won't it? I wonder where the artifact that they dug up is. It's probably in the room where we defeated the Niskaru Lord, or the Greater Niskaru. Back here, I think. Didn't really pay much attention whilst I was in there. Didn't spot anything that it could have been. I wonder whether they put anything in there that could have been the object that they dug up. Or sample. Trollhide leggings. What would I even get if I broke these down? Like, you can't get components that give you slots, gem slots, can you? I suppose it'd be worth trying. See if I get anything good out of it. Ah, Corthian Cuirass. Nice. Let's have a look at that. Though those shoulder pads are not nearly big enough to be Chaos shoulder pads. Got some spikes on them. So I would just be missing Corthian chaussers and helm. Yeah, those... I mean, these are nice for Chaos. I could buy that these are Chaosy. But these are not big enough shoulder pads, and there's not enough skulls on it. Usually Chaos Warriors are painted in black. Socketed and fine gear gives odd random parts sometimes. Oh, cool. So it'd be worth breaking them down. I actually want to... Where the fuck am I going? Right, yes, okay. I want to go back to that room and see whether there's anything in there that they placed that could indicate some kind of... Oh, the big fire in the middle of the room, I guess. Probably. Maybe. But there isn't an object in there at all. And why would they have only just found it if it's like in a big bit of rock in the middle of the room? Like, because they would have dug the rest of this out. Right? Like... maybe they started working this rock face more recently. Like, maybe this was a bit of wiggle in the tunnel before they opened it out. But then again, there's grass growing in here, and there's no natural light. Fucking weird choices they made in this game. Sometimes. Maybe the Niskaro tyrant burst through the floor to attack them. Well, the guy that we met on the way in said that they'd accidentally hit an artifact when they were digging. Or an object. I don't remember his exact words. Oh wow, that's a big chain, isn't it? Didn't notice that. He said they hit something when they were digging. So a bit of a Balrog situation. But apart from the fire in the middle of the room, I'm not really getting the impression in there that there was any kind of object. And I really would have preferred it if they had included something like that. That would have been really cool. My, what a deep jump point. Let's just go and tell this guy that everything's fine.
I'm impressed. No one else has returned since... well, let's just say you're the first back from the mines in a long time.
Yep, I'm remarkable. I bet that the guards aren't actively hostile to me and trying to drive me out of the town because they know that I have handed in 3 bounties to take on the 3 different violent ex-mining families. They're like, okay, on the one hand we've got the person that nobody likes who does happen to be paying our bills. Or our maybe not our bills, but our wages. On the other hand, we've got the person who took on every single one of the violent ex-mining families and came back alive after completing those bounties. Now, sure, this guy that no one likes is paying us, but attacking the person who has killed all those people, it seems like a bad idea, so we're just going to not.
You went to Scoria. I wasn't convinced anyone could survive the evils awakened there, but you've proved tougher than expected.
By the way, you should probably go to the Warsworn and let them know that there's some kind of object in there that can summon Niskaru. Or at least that Niskaru have appeared there, so that they can try and sort things out.
Making the mine safe again is a task for another day. Right now we have a more dangerous challenge before us. It's time to kill the mayor of Whitestone. It's the only way. Once he's gone, I can take his place and help save Apotyr for its people, not for a man who wishes to be king.
The mayor is dead. Long live the mayor.
I imagine he sits on his makeshift throne in the mayor's cottage. Go. End his reign before it truly begins.
Be good if I could lure him somewhere else so that I don't just immediately get done for murder. Because there is a guard in there with him. Unless taking this quest removes the guard. That's a possibility.
Yeah?
Oh no, there we are. Mercenary is still there.
I know why you're here. You've come with but one intent. Please, don't take my head. I beg you. Of course, you have my word. My life is Whitestone's for as long as it takes. Just spare me. I would go to the cage gladly. Go away.
I will go to the cage gladly. Go away. Wow. Daft.
Be on your guard.
It is time for the healing to begin. Eswin's men are mine now, and I will use them to shape a new era, one of rebirth. Your sacrifice has been great, and I will reward you for it. Take this gold and this armor, owned by my family for many generations. Be on your guard. Apotyr is still a deadly place. Healing will take time, but time we have.
It'd be really nice if the game changed over time as you made differences. But the most they can manage is, like, come back to Canarok and pick up fucking bags of silk occasionally. Are there any games like that? Like, particularly action RPGs, although I'd be happy with a tab target system for an RPG. Are there any RPGs that where the world changes as you progress through it? Like, later editions of World of Warcraft do it in certain areas. I think the first place was Mr. Pandaria, where you go out onto the plains. No, not. I was going to say Mulgore Plains, but that's completely wrong. That's not in Pandaland. That's in Kalimdor. Like, part of your progress campaign in Mr. Pandaria changes an area. It turns it from being a small village that was being raided into a garrison for your troops. Star Trek Online does a little bit. Some things are invisible until you do a certain quest. That's not quite what I mean. More like a place is like in dire straits. It's constantly under attack. Everyone's living in fear. No one, like Canarok. So I guess it does happen a bit in this game, and I guess we have changed this, but like, given that the zones, once you've moved through a zone and you've out-leveled it, there isn't really much point in you going back because you can't earn anything from it. Even if you do get like loot drops and stuff, they're less good than what you would be getting. So quite why regions like the Red Banner dudes, the first bandit group that you get, I don't know why the game couldn't remove them from spawning tables after you take out their leader, and kill a bunch of them. Like, because there are a bunch of quests to kill certain numbers of them, and like, I think take their daggers or take something. Certainly quests to kill numbers of them. Like at DS9, you can't see the Dominion Embassy until you do that quest. It's a thing that's really expensive in the work needed to build games like that. Yeah, fair enough. It just, like, actually changing the world after you've worked in it would have such an impact on player engagement with the game. Like, if you could change the face of the world, like leave an impression on it from your efforts, more than you do in this, that would have a real sense of achievement in it. Which, like, if you know anything, if you are interested in MMOs at all, I've been researching MMOs, and like as I mentioned on Wednesday last week or Monday, I was watching videos by a dude called The Lazy Peon, who reviews and does first impressions of MMOs, and he's moved on to doing just any RPG or survival type game. He has a video about an upcoming MMO called Ashes of Creation. So I guess if you're curious, look up Ashes of Creation, which is an upcoming fantasy MMO, which has loads and loads of features of like player interaction with the game world. Having listened to his points, like watched his video about the upcoming like the features of it, I'm really excited for that game to come out.
I never wanted a conflict with anyone. My life has been about overcoming obstacles, not looking for them. Eswin came here on the hunt for trouble. Farewell.
Hopefully he won't have Eswin killed mysteriously. Right, Issa. There's a thing to do in Issa, isn't there? There's that, which I still have no idea how to do. Maybe I should look it up on the wiki. And there's this dude, so let's go and talk to him. Oops, wrong way. Oh, would it have been the wrong way? I thought the thing I was aiming for was over here. Ugh, this fucking map. Wish I could zoom out on the mini-map a bit. That'd be handy. Issa blades require you to find Issa parts, then assemble them into full Fey blades. Yeah, the guy said that there were components around Issa, but I haven't seen any chests that I can just like loot. Any chests that I have found have been I've had that red symbol to indicate that taking from them would be stealing. So, like, I've got no idea where I would start looking for parts that I could pick up. I mean, I guess I'll just have to read the wiki.
Hello?
If I care, but I don't care that much, to be honest.
Damn quiet, damn fools. I'm sorry, friend, I didn't see you there. I'm afraid I'm a bit concerned.
Oh yeah, I know that it's a money-earning mission, and that it's not story-related at all. But I do have a certain amount of curiosity, if nothing else, than for what the Feyblade things actually look like when they're constructed. Whether they are just ordinary Silvernight, or whether they have a unique appearance.
I'm an experienced sagecrafter. My skills as a mage leave much to be desired. But no one knows stones like I do. The finest practitioners of the arcane crafts on the continent can be found within the Order.
What about the dudes? Oh, I can't check the map from here, but there's some dudes in a mission, some religious order of dudes who do nothing but shape gems.
There are many things we have learned from our time with the Fae, though their magic is quite unlike ours. A few nights ago, I was the victim of an attempted robbery. Someone sought to steal a gem of mine from a chest I warded myself. That night, 3 initiates fled the chapter. Cassera, Aloran, and Bertrand. I suspect they were somehow involved. They could only have run into the Sidhe. Can you find them? Someone attempted to steal a valuable gem from me. And on the very same evening, 3 of our initiates disappeared. Cassera, Aloran, and Bertrand. They're somehow involved in the attempted theft. And at the very least, in danger while in the Sidhe.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll go and find out what's up with them.
Thank you. Find out what happened and I'll be grateful. You've got to find them. They're somewhere in the Sidhe, I'm sure of it. There's 3 of them. Cassera, Bertrand, and Aloran. They must be in the Sidhe. Find them there. Until next time.
I don't know why the game gives me the option to ask for more information and then just gives me the same information again. Like, can they not assume that I'm capable of reading the quest log? So it was St. Hadwin's mission that do the sage crafting. They do nothing. There's 3 dudes there, and they do nothing but craft gems.
Greetings.
How's it going, friend?
Welcome to the Issa chapter house of the Scholia Arcana. How may I be of assistance? As a docent of the Scholia Arcana, my duties involve handling all tasks necessary for the day-to-day administration of the Order's affairs in Issa.
That's a big old book, isn't it? Enormous. It's not constructed how a book of that size would be. Either. Like, it's just things stacked on top of one another. With a book that size, or a book of any size really, so one of the things I know is bookbinding, because I was curious and I wanted to have a go at it. So the way that you construct a book is with leaves, and not like fucking off of a tree, the sort of green things. You get sheets of paper, or whatever flexible, flat object you're forming books out of, like it could be hemp, not necessarily paper, or parchment, which is very, very thin hide. Like, why is the book chained to the floor? Well, obviously it's a floaty book, and the floaty enchantment on it is quite strong, so they need to make sure that it stays put. I mean, a book that size, if you can make something float and it's that big and that difficult to manhandle around, then why not make it float? That seems like a quality of life thing. I'm talking about the construction of the book. Something this size, well, a book of any size, after, I think it's 16 pages, so you get 8 sheets of paper and put them together and fold them in half, and that's 16 pages. And then you stitch them together, and that's a leaf. But yeah, the book props are weird. Yeah, so the original way that they did that was they had a huge ass sheet, like a massive ass sheet of parchment formed out of a whole skin, because parchment is leather. By the way, you can read the text on them. There is legible text, but I don't think that those are any kind of rune from the real world. So they'd get this huge sheet of parchment, or I suppose maybe hemp or paper, and then fold that down so that it forms 8 sheets or 16 pages, and then cut around 2 of the edges to open it up. I think that's the Amalur equivalent of Elvish. probably. So you'd cut around the two of the edges, leaving one folded edge, and then stitch through that, and then that's a leaf. And then you get a bunch of them. Figured out how to read it from the opening cutscene. Cool. That's some real cryptography. And then what you do with your leaves is you basically stack them side by side and then stitch through sideways to tie them together through the binding that goes like so. When you fold the sheet in two, you stitch up through the fold and form loops down along the spine. You see a sheet of paper with the writing on it as Aelin Shear read it to you. Ah, cunning. So, yeah, so you've got like loops of stitch sticking out through the spines of each of your leaves, and then you put them side by side and then stitch through those loops of fabric or of thread, cord, to form as much book as you require. That's the process, and then they stack up to make the length of book that you need. But the thing about that is, when you open a book like that, the spine curves because of like each piece goes around like humpback bridges that are formed with arches with keystones, that kind of thing. So each leaf forms a wedge when it's opened out, and that's why book spines curve. Like if you've ever handled a physical book, and you've opened one, and it's got a reasonable spine to it, and if you opened it, you'll see that it curves, and you can damage the spine by bending it to and like folding it back on itself to stay open. But what's happened here is they've just kept stacking pages on top of one another and folded it. So what they've actually got here is on the furthest out ones, there's a second fold where the cover goes in. It's a terrible way. It's such a wasteful way of making books, because all of this material here in this triangle is wasted, and it's actually a weird, mind-boggling way of trying to make a book, because the furthest out of the pages need to be wider to accommodate. Like so if you're making a book this way, what you have to do is you have to know exactly how many pages you're putting in so that you can calculate how much extra page you need on the outer pages to account for keeping this shape once you get to the inner pages. There are some ways to make books that are assembled from pages that are already written. Perhaps this should be called a codex. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's I only took like a day or two's worth of bookbinding course. So like, I'm not a super expert on binding books. I basically just learned one way, and the standard way for binding books now. So like, I don't know how you construct a codex and how that's different from a normal book, and I don't know how you restore books or construct a book from found pages. But like, of course, real ones tend to look very haphazard since the pages don't line up right. Kind of like taking a 3-ring binder and putting random pieces of paper in them. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so like, constructing a book from found pages sounds more like the sort of thing that you would, if you were doing it now, the sort of thing that you would do in maybe not restoration work, but preservation work. Yeah, it's kind of a haphazard approach. I don't know that this is a haphazard approach. This looks like it's been done like professionally, but super inefficiently, I think they figured out leaves for books pretty early on when they were making books, because they had scrolls and then started putting pages together. Yeah, to be honest though, I don't know enough about the evolution of writing books. Maybe this is an accurate representation of what a fantasy, like a sort of a 15th century, 14th century book, maybe 13th century book would look like. Like, the thing is that with a high fantasy setting like this, you don't know what historical setting they're drawing from, because it's so far removed. So, like, even Tolkien didn't have a set age when he was writing up Lord of the Rings that he was drawing from. Like, he invented his own, with its own, like, development of technologies. So even Lord of the Rings, you can't really point at and say, yes, this period, the section of Lord of the Rings that happens concurrent with the events of the book, the Third Age, is equivalent to Earth's 13th century. And I've seen some pics of antique books that are super thick and are a single bound sheaf. Wow, wild. Fair enough. Yeah, so like with Lord of the Rings and other fantasy, they don't tend to, like Lord of the Rings, Tolkien didn't go, okay, we're basing the level of technological development on 12th century. And Tolkien's work, Lord of the Rings, is basically forms the basis for all modern fantasy. Like it's the thing which everyone draws from. And if you don't think that a fantasy story draws from Lord of the Rings, it's just that you're wrong. It does. It's just that it's several generations back. Like it could be 8 or 10 generations of fantasy story back by this point. And very, very few fantasy authors actually set out when they're writing and like pick a period in Earth's history and go, the story I'm writing is equivalent to this period in human history, only with fantasy elements. So I'll research that century or that like 50-year section or even 10-year section, like that decade in this setting, in Earth's history, to have the technological and sociological setting for my story just right, so that it feels just right. The people that do that will be very few and far between, and I really don't think that the people who made this game will have taken the time to do that. That said, maybe, as you say, like if you've seen pics that look like this, or maybe not quite this thick, but that end up looking a bit like this, maybe someone looked up a super old tome or codex, super old book, and went, okay, that's what old books look like, and then reproduced it in like 5 times the size. Also worth noting is that whatever this book is bound in is flexible, because once books get past a certain size, I think they used to bind them in thin planks of wood. So the fact that this can bend this much means that it's, for its thickness, super soft leather, which is super weird. Like, maybe this is a model based on a book that's about sort of this size, which would have had a relatively soft, a flexible leather cover. Thick leather is historically attested. Well, fair enough. But would they not have boiled the leather to make it sturdy? Anyway, we're not making our way through the story of the game.
We are a collective of mages, and those that have a mind to unravel the ethereal phenomena of these Feylands and beyond. Despite Jorum's frustrations, the wild magic of the Fey can be channeled in the most extraordinary ways. It is a great honor for us to be granted a place among them. The Issa chapter is but a small branch of our larger Rathir chapter in the plains of Erethel. We focus more on researching the magics of the Fae and Dalentar than pure instruction. Traditionally, our applicants undergo years of preparation, but we understand your circumstances are somewhat irregular. Ever since you entered the city, we've been watching you. After all, an endorsement from Niralim is not quickly dismissed. If it is your wish to join our order, you must first complete the trial of initiation. Then first I shall present you with this. It is the story of the Order's founding and a good primer for all who wish to join our ranks. Now I shall summon the circle of mages necessary to perform the ritual. Savant Engar will lead the trial. Speak to him in the Delving Hall when you're ready to begin. We are a society of mages dedicated to the study of magic. Short of joining, the best way to learn about the Order is to read On the Founding of the Scholia Arcana. It is not for me to divulge the details of the trial. I can only advise that you do not take the risk lightly. Farewell.
My most hated enemy. Crates. I wonder what this dude is practicing. Practicing his fancy dance. I mean, listen. If I could make magic circles and lights appear by doing a fancy dance like that, then with no other effect, I fucking would occasionally. So I can't blame him. So I have a book I need to read, I guess. Have I read this already? No, I don't think I have. I think this is the one that I got just now. And so it came to pass that in the years of strife, when the tyrant queen Sedanus had sown the fields of Erethel thigh deep with blood, that seems like an awful lot of work. Unless people are sinking thigh deep into mud that's formed of blood, in which case that's still an awful lot of blood. One could also argue that it's a way of practicing the use of magic in a non-destructive manner. Also true. Yeah, evoking magic that doesn't actually turn into a fireball or anything. Fair enough. 3 unlikely souls found the way out of the dark. The first was a man named Elodan Bloodgood. Is he a vampire by any chance? The Varani Shaper, he came to Erethel from far to the north, searching the world for the knowledge of stone. After refusing to build a temple in Sedanus' name, he was cast into prison. The second was a gnome named Marus Torix, a gifted Gnosticant, who he had long ago left the safety of and comfort of his libraries to travel the world, to learn of things with his own eyes, for teaching a doctrine different from the unquestioning worship of Sedanus and her regime. He, too, was cast into prison. The third was born deep within the dungeons of Rathir, a young Alfar girl named Eleanor Bria, who grew to maturity blinded by the darkness that was her only home. I don't think growing up in the dark blinds you, although I don't know anything about that happening, so maybe it does. Upon Eleanor Bria's ascendance to adulthood, deep within the dark of Sidunus prison, the gifts of elemental magics came to her. In fury, the girl burned the dungeon to the ground. If the dungeon is underground, burning it to the ground is an awfully impressive feat and involves making quite a large crater. Guided by the masters Torix and Bloodgood, she learned to wield her gift, and together the 3 of them dared to fight against the tyrant queen. Word spread quickly of a new group of masters, mages, and artisans who would teach any willing to learn. In time, others courageous enough to challenge Sidana's might came forward, and what had started with a resistance of 3 quickly became 10, then 100, then 1,000. Terrible battles of magic were waged, thousands perished, entire cities were scoured from the face of the world, and untold horrors were birthed as each side tried desperately to craft the means of their victory. So that's why there aren't more cities on Erethel and the regions that we visit, I guess. Kiara Sidanus sought the destruction of their enemies by any method. No sacrifice was too great, no atrocity too horrid. The darkest and foulest of arts were pursued, and the cost to the populace was unrivalled by that of anyone's memory. But the light of the 3 refused to be extinguished. The strength of Master Bloodgood, his wisdom and his skill, set the form and foundation of their hope. The brilliance of Master Torix, his knowledge and his insight, unlocked the chains of their bondage, and the passion of Mistress Bria, her spirit and her fury, lit the way to freedom. What none could do alone, these 3 achieved together. After 7 years of rebellion, they defeated Sidanus high upon the heights of the spire of Rathir. Different paths had led each into the chains of slavery, but it was there that each found strength from the other, and together found their freedom. And so it was that the Scholia Arcana came to be. Cool. Are those exclamation marks indicating that those are quests I can pick up from these? Where's my... Oh, there we go. Find files. Locate files of the Motus Mining Company. I found 2 of them. Okay. You would have thought picking them up would have started the quest. And I did read each of them, I'm pretty sure. But apparently reading the entries of the records isn't enough to start the quest. You have to actually double click on the things before they'll actually start. It's another super weird way of doing it. Who's this? Savant Reina
Greetings.
Njon.
I have some ability with the art of sage crafting. Do you wish for some instruction? I came to the Scholia Arcana because magic flows through my family, my entire people. And though the magic is strong, it gives few answers to the questions of life. What is this power? Where does it come from? I hope to learn these truths in time. Many try to join our order, but most do not have the skill necessary to be of use. The Fae possess a certain communion with the magical energies of nature that we mortals can only dream of. Return when you wish to learn more.
Yeah, my sage crafting is probably higher than what she can teach. So I'm not too fussed. Oh hey, we're underwater. This is some more of the Rathir ruins that form an aquarium tunnel through water. Tell you what, it'd be fucking terrifying if you were looking up through one of these and saw a massive shape move past. What's that? That's a not quite a phobia, but there's a phobia of deep open water. What's it called? I want to look it up now. Not necessarily of seeing huge things move in deep open water, but thalassophobia. There we go. It's a type of specific phobia that involves a persistent and intense fear of deep bodies of water, such as the ocean or sea. The term thalassophobia stems from the Greek thalassa, the sea, and phobos, fear. There we go. But I imagine that there is a related phobia to thalassophobia, which is, well, I mean, maybe not, but like, there's probably a related feeling of when you're looking out into something that is deep and then you see a dark shape move in it and you realize that that shape has to be absolutely massive given the distance at which it must be for it to be that shade in the depths of whatever you're looking into. One historical example is the Doomsday Book, which was compiled at the request of William the Conqueror. Interesting. The Doomsday Book presumably looks like the one in the place we just came from, the Scholia Arcana chapter of Issa. Okay, let's do the thing here.
Greetings. I will be the savant presiding over your trial of initiation. Traditionally, applicants have prepared for the challenges of this trial through years of study and training. But as Augur mentioned, we realize you are unique. Do you have any questions before we begin?
Are you just going to zap me with electricity?
The magic of the ritual confronts the applicant with his or her own potential. Consequently, no two experiences are the same. How this potential manifests varies. Whatever takes place is for the applicant only. Tradition dictates it is never spoken of. And a final warning. While whatever shape the magic takes isn't real, not truly, what happens can have real consequences. Do not underestimate the danger. This is a fluid magic. The form it takes varies according to the power and nature of the ritual's focus. In this case, you. The goal is a simple one. Survive. Like every Scholia Arcana member before you, to join our ranks, you must first confront the specter of your potential. And be aware that I am watching. Now, proceed into the center of the circle to begin. Good luck.
Don't remember doing this the first time round. Maybe I didn't find it. Or maybe I did a bit of it and thought, oh, that's it done. This is going to be me fighting a shadow version of myself, innit? Or just a bunch of fair goblins. Okay.
Not the most welcoming places at all. Pile of corpses. Don't pay any attention to my ramblings initially. Those fair Gorta look like they're out for blood.
Wow. I'm in a spirit quest and I can... Oh, hey. Is this where I started? I'm on a spirit quest and I can still pick up gold. And mushrooms, apparently. Okay. Oh no, I don't think the corpse piles are quite big enough. But this is very similar to the place that I started. know they say that on spirit quests and stuff, through psychosomatic process, things that you believe happen to you. So like you feel the physical effects once you've woken up of things that happened. But I don't know that you can acquire gold pieces from psychosomatic looting. On the other hand, I'll tell you after I'm finished fighting these
possess
skeletons.
quite the capacity for violence. Intriguing.
On the other hand, there are a number of stories where, like fiction, actual fiction, not like anecdotes or anything, but stuff that happens in fiction when people go on these kind of like vision quests or spirit journeys or, you know, astral projection. They'll find an object that's significant to the thing that they're trying to discover. Like they'll wake up with it in their hands, like a feather or a stone or something. But like, that's one thing. To wake up with several hundred extra gold and some mushroom caps and a cuirass, a silver knight cuirass that I've acquired from somewhere. That's stretching things a little bit. Like, I would buy this more if there were no destructible objects or pick up objects that I could pick up. Like nothing that I could loot from enemies. If there was absolutely nothing in here that I could pick up and take with me out, I think I would buy this more. Doomsday Book is a massive book you couldn't hold in your hands while reading. Both volumes did originally have sheets of oak wood as their covers, though. Yeah. I'm vaguely familiar with the Doomsday Book because basically it forms the basis for modern, well, certainly for British modern.
By the founders, what is that? A synergy of all chemical elements resonant within a sage-crafted crystalline substructure. I hope you survive it. Kyle, we must discuss this first.
Fucking great, thanks, game. Have the guy talk at me whilst I'm in combat and can't hear him over the fucking attacks. And have him pause when I enter the game's menu to try and fucking listen to him when he's talking. Great, that, thanks. So, yes, Doomsday Book forms the basis of British... what's the word I'm looking for? Census? The British census? I don't know if it was the first... No, it can't have been the first ever census, but, like, the construction of and the commissioning of the Doomsday Book is significant in British history. For a number of reasons. Hey. Physical resistance. I could break those down for components. I wonder if there was a chest here the first time. I can't. It's one of the few places in the game I can't actually go back to check. This is where we woke up, innit? Ugh, look at all that organic shit up there. Warping and pumping. Don't know if that was there the first time either. Don't remember.
The first phase of the trial is complete. Proceed. Another cave. How interesting.
Thanks for pointing that out, game. Yeah. Which cave is this now, eh? Don't think it's one that I remember.
Do not expect mercy, mortal.
Is this Goreheart? No. It's the wrong shape for Goreheart. Where is this?
Time to die.
Presumably if I'd done this when I was the first time I visited Issa, these guys wouldn't be grey. They'd probably be like yellow, maybe white. They'd actually be...
Something is terribly wrong. Ahead, I sense another's presence in the trial.
Some kind of
Dissonance
challenge.
growing.
I don't have enough space in my inventory and I can't come back. Alright, what can I destroy? Oh, come on. Why is this... confounded interface. Alright, that's 4 objects. There we go, I've got a bit of space now. Hello, who are you?
Am I? What is this place? The Dark Empyrean. I cannot remember. I cannot remember anything. And you? I smell death on you, child. Why have you summoned me here?
This is also weird as this is the same place but not semi-demolished. Yeah.
I am the Dark Empyrean, and I will not be bound by you or those you serve. I could kill you now, but I have plans for those who watch from the shadows. Now be gone.
What the dickens? The Dark Empyrean. Is that, oh, what's her name? The dragon. The end boss.
Such power. One moment we were linked, sustaining the magic of the trial, and then an arc of energy, the likes of which I have never seen, burst from you. 3 mages lay dead, and 2 have fled screaming. I know the trial is not meant to be shared, but what in Lyria's name happened? A woman? Masked in shadow? I will need to consult my books. Perhaps later we can discuss the details. For now, we have dead to bury, and missing mages to find. As for the formalities, you have proven yourself worthy in the trial of initiation. In the name of the Scholia Arcana, I hereby confer unto you the title of Neophyte. Welcome to the Order. Come speak to me when you're ready to be of use.
Yeah, definitely didn't get this far in my first playthrough of the game. I don't even know whether I finished traveling around the plains of Erythel, reading bits of the book.
I am a savant in our prestigious order. As scholars of the arcane, we are organized into various ranks according to our mastery of magic. Savant is the second highest rank of the order. My responsibilities may be difficult for you to comprehend until you are better versed in exactly what it is we do. He is, one of the most gifted sage-crafters we have produced in generations. Wherever he may be, I hope he is safe and will soon return to the fold.
Caddock Reen. Guess we may be given a quest to find him.
It is a wondrous world we have been graced with, and among its marvels is the force of magic that builds in strength every day. We have a responsibility to know what these forces are, so that we may better control it. It does not surprise me that Nuala survived the backlash of power that killed 3 of her brethren. From the first day of her novitiate, she demonstrated an insatiable curiosity and remarkable talent. But now, I can't help but wonder if we pushed her too hard.
Finally found a book, a good enough picture to see the structure of binding. The Domesday book looks like it didn't have thick sheaves if the pages were even grouped in sheaves. It's either Domesday or Doomsday. I think it's pronounced Doomsday. But cool. Fair enough. I did look it up on my phone, but I couldn't see a good picture. The brief, like 10 seconds I devoted to looking, and it wouldn't have given me very much detail, even if I had found it and opened it on my phone anyway.
Ah, yes. Newly welcomed applicants are known as neophytes. In time, those who have progressed to handling certain amounts of responsibility may become docents. Particularly gifted members may one day reach the rank of adept. They are traditionally the agents of the Scholia Arcana, to whom great tasks may be entrusted. A very few may reach the rank of savant. These are the leaders of the Order, and they yield only to one, the Art Sage.
Interesting that the word docent means teacher. It's a title at some European universities to denote a specific academic appointment within a set structure of academic ranks at or below the full professor. So adept is a professor? Annoyingly, most websites talk solely about its historical importance, which, yes, is immense, but not why I was looking. Yeah, fair enough, that's annoying.
Oh, right. You passed. Up until the point where all hell broke loose, you were even doing well. Not that we expected anything less. I am sending you to the ruin of Aod, to the south. There, the element of fire thrives as though it has a life of its own. After your initiation trial, the magic in Aod shifted. I believe this magic is tied to you, Initiate. Confronting it might yield some answers. Priests of Raykor have long sealed Aod from entry, but we know it to be an ancient ruin. If you're interested in the details, read Velthilian Carr's Aod, the Mythos of Mayhem. I'm sure our library has a copy. Somewhat self-destructive cultists who worship the arcane aspects of fire. They frequent places they believe blessed by Rathir, and do not welcome trespassers. Followers of Rathir dwell within. They have quite the affinity for fire, as do other creatures found there. As for what may be causing the recent swelling in power emanating from the ruin, your guess is as good as mine.
My bet is Niskaru.
Where did I put my quill?
Ooh, cracked that, eh? Insurmountable obstacle. Shoulder high wall. No vaulting in this game. We're not allowed to move vertically unless we're on a slope. Or jumping, I suppose. So there are a couple of ways of moving vertically, but we cannot go up.
Oh yes, welcome.
Going up is definitely not allowed. Oh, hey. That's a lot of book. Tell you what, I'll leave the pages open for a few seconds each, and then once this is up on YouTube, anyone who's interested can pause it and read it for themselves. So I'm up to date now. This this recording of today will go up tomorrow, and then I'll be up to date again. So I've caught up with my full backlog. I have no more recordings of previous streams clogging up my hard drives.
Hello.
Alright, there's a shop in here. I want a shop so I can sell some junk. Ah, here's a shop. Hello, chap.
How goes the search?
And we've got a few items to put in our...
Until next time.
Stash in Canarok, so let's go and do that. So no, it's not Shining Shadow, is it? Wish you could organize the weapons by type. Corthian mallet, yeah, there we go. Corthian, I thought so. And Ferox is the sword, isn't it? Ordelia's Corthian age. Yeah, there we go. Apparently the 1700s, in the 1700s, someone published a copy of the Domesday Book, but split it into 5 volumes because it was that massive. I still haven't found the physical dimensions listed for the book. There's, it's displayed in the, British Library. You might, if you went to the British Library website, you might find a listing for it. Then we want to go... Well, let's wander around in the Shi looking for the lost apprentices. Initiate. They're right next to a bar, I guess. They're probably dead, aren't they? Alright, let's start here and go around. Found several pictures of the current resting place of the book. Oh, cool. Fair enough. Yeah, that's a dead initiate, isn't it? Lauren's journal. Let's have that. Sodding fools. Bertrand thought he could just watch Cassera die and still think he was innocent. That he could go back. I tried to tell him, and he just wouldn't listen. I couldn't have him bring others after me. I had to kill him. Now I can just get out of this damn wood and find a place to lay low. Maybe Canarok. Apparently not. Aloran's fucking dead, eh? And a murderer to boot. Not that we're much better, but... Our reasons for killing people are generally better. Oops, didn't manage to collect that. There we go. Oh, there was another one. Another dead initiate. Cassera. Alright, I could close that, couldn't I? The plan's laid out. Alaran and Bertrand are on board. All we have to do is wait until nightfall, and then we'll make off with Quintus' gem. Should be a simple matter of waiting for the gnome to go to sleep, dispelling the chest and getting the gem. Then it's off to the west. Fence the gem, split the gold, and we'll live like kings. I don't know that the gem would be worth that much. But maybe you could live like a king for a short period. Probably. Oh, it's deep enough to actually swim in. There we go. finally the last of the corpses. Casera died, killed by brownies. Alaran was sad at first. Fancied her, I think. Then he said it was her fault that we got caught. Said she hadn't researched the ward enough. Alaran and I had never seen a spell like it, and when it went off in our faces, the whole chapter house knew what was happening. We fled to the She, but as we left, Alaran said it was Casera's fault that we were stuck in the wilds with nothing to our name. Then he started calling me dead weight, said he'd fix me up if I couldn't keep up. What a turn, hey? Also, any gem you can fence isn't that valuable. Yeah, true. Maybe they could have lived like a king for a day. Maybe. Ah, okay, not Niscaro. Well, not Niscaro yet. Ah, but because I haven't been here before, these guys are scaled for me. That's nice. I wonder why there was star thistle on the skeleton. Oh, the place isn't full of lava. That's disappointing. You have certain expectations of places like this set for you by other fantasy games, but you kind of expect places that worship living fire, or the mystical aspects of fire, to have some quantity. I mean, there is some fire, I guess. There's a bit of fire here, but like, it's not that much fire. You expect. You expect more, you know? Master's leggings. That's mana, isn't it? Yeah. Let's take them, break them down. No, it's just fire traps. And perhaps the runes are slightly more golden than runes Arathel, not Arathel, Rathir runes tend to be. These have definitely been blown open, no way. Ah, bar guests. Can I sneak up on these guys? I think so. Oh hey! It's a dude. That bar guest is gonna see me, the little shit. It doesn't care though, eh? Fucking lock on, you fucker. Maybe the Barghest that saw me sat down again because I was in an animation and it couldn't attack me. Talk about iframes. This ruin is placed in-game where it's part of a buried city. How many people could live down here? I want to explore the city. Yeah, that I've definitely felt that every time I've seen some Rathir ruins. Like, you come out into an enormous underground cavern, the walls of which are lined with fucking... Oops. The walls of which are lined with buildings with lit windows. And you can never get out to them. It's so disappointing. Yeah, okay. Stab me with your tail. Don't know where it's been. Oh, hold on, Cruel. Cruel Scepter will probably have crit chance, won't it? Oh, crit damage. Okay, well that's still worth breaking down and hoping you get a component from. Surprised there's lots of tinder twig around. I wonder if you can sneak up on sprites. I've only ever seen them in groups, and they have a tendency to like flap around, looking around. So actually getting behind one without being seen would be an enormous ask, I think. Oh. Ouch. I thought I got close enough quickly enough. Nope, apparently not. Gotta be careful with disarming these, eh? There isn't one in the middle. Okay, that's alright. Glad I didn't get blown around into them. Like, if the one I accidentally set off here had blown me this way, and then into this, and then into this, like, just chain reacting through them, that would have been a really bad time. I wonder if that was deliberate or, like, a limitation of the, game's engine, because I would appreciate it if it was deliberate that you couldn't accidentally just constantly blow yourself up. And if it was oh shit, pay attention. And if it was just a limitation, then it would be one of the good limitations of the game. What a curious design. You've had that happen, have you? Some places have quite dense minefields. Oof. Oof. So you managed to survive unscathed. Well, not unscathed, but did you manage to survive, or did it kill you? These are a bit far apart to be doing that, though. Maybe the one in the middle could have. Just keep blowing you forwards. No, these are both bordered as well. That's no fun. Yeah, standard Rathir chests look like carved stone boxes. Mine explosion damage is reduced by armor, and my character is a walking tank. Oh, fair enough. Now, what I meant was the two sets of stairs down here, up to a small dais with a chest on. Like, because I'm wondering what purpose this has as like a functional space. Is it just for display? Like, why would you need such an open room? It's clearly decorated. It's got heavy bas-relief carvings in the walls. And then the only major features of the room are a pair of chests up on small platforms that aren't even facing towards the door. They're facing one another. Like, would people have sat here before? Like, would these have contained chairs that people would have sat on? Just yeah, what function this room served is a mystery to me. Okay, magic tree lit by a magic lamp. I'm surprised that one didn't go off, and I completely didn't see it. Amazing. Yeah, it feels like a place of honor and not an ordinary storage location. Yeah, yeah. It's obviously a position of some reverence and significance. Is there another mine here that I just didn't set off? I was definitely standing right next to this mine. Like, I was practically on top of it, and it didn't go off, which is amazing. Oh, this is the way I want to be going. Let's explore more before heading on. Whatever is in here is watching the door. Oh, it's some dudes. Where on earth was I aiming for that, eh? Come on. At the wall. The Primer of Fire. This religious text bears strange runes and markings on the cover. That's interesting. It's not in pages, it's in scroll format. It begins as it ends, in flame. This is the primary tenet. That which burns must burn. From fire all things came, and to fire all things must return. This is what it means to serve the sun. Well, that's remarkably knowledgeable about the function of stars in creating matter. He has gifted all of us with the spark, to incandescence to be consumed, to be irretrievably bound within the present passion, to know without equivocation the clarity of hatred, to be lost without salvation to the ecstasy of grief. From fire all things came, and to fire all things must return. Jubilate with me, my brothers, that the end is nigh. What a bunch of weirdos. Burning grass. This will be magic gloves, won't it? But they're purple, so they're going to be fancy magic gloves. Oh no, they're finesse. Oh no, hold on, no. Sorcery. I accidentally selected the wrong thing. Mana regen per sec, that's quite a lot. 10% per second. One question I've always had about Arathi stuff. Why are the light sources glowing runes on walls or floors? I've got no idea. 10% chance to burn enemies when attacked. 10% fire damage. 35 mana. Cloth hand wraps magically attuned to feed the wearer's mana pool and reservoirs of elemental fire. Let's put them back on. I mean, if you've got magic runes that glow, it would be more convoluted to find a way to hang them from, like, strings to make lanterns, hang them from something to hang, like, in the middle of a room. If they're bright enough that you can light the floor and a tree with them, you probably don't need to hang them from stuff. Like, maybe put them in the ceiling, I guess. But the walls are fine too. I mean, we have windows in walls after all. You could just embed them into the ceiling. True. But then if you did that, your character wouldn't be able to look up to see all of them. It's much more impressive if you can look down on them. So unfortunately, the only explanation I can think of is a Doyleist one. I can't really think of a Watsonian one. Other than, well, maybe they put the glowing runes in after they did the stonework, and actually getting up there to do whatever process is required to make glowing geometric shapes stay lit for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years, is requires you to face down or at least forwards, but not up. We'll never know. No thanks. Don't want any of that. Oh, they're traps. Need to watch out for traps. Yep, there's traps. Perfect place to put trap would be just around this corner. Oh, there we are. Damn it, too close before we're trying to disable it. That's a bit obvious, isn't it? It's floating above the floor. I wonder if there's anything suspicious about this stone Roomba. It's underlit. God, could you imagine someone underlighting a Roomba? Cruel. Cruel. What does cruel do? Is it damage to humans? Oh no, it's critical hit damage. Okay, let's take that and break it down. What does stout Feyblades do, eh? Health and mana. Nice. Let's break them down. Damn it. I even started the animation for disabling. Come on. Decide which one make your mind up, game. Which one is it? Oh, there's two, of those things. Altars. Altar of Belen. I wonder if they're both Belen. No, that's Mitharu. Okay. Death and Order. So, there we go. There's the enemy that we fight. How's it going, friend? What kind of...
I hoped you would come. After all, I owe you so much. How can I repay you for what you've done? There was a time when kings begged me to read their fortunes. Shall I read yours?
You can if you want, but you won't find anything.
I have so many names, but I am not the subject of this conversation. Do you wish your fortune read or not?
Go ahead and try.
Interesting. It appears as though you have no future. Does this mean your death is nigh?
That could be the case. That could indeed be what's going on here.
I've crafted what I need, and I'm done with this woman's body. Right now, she's trying to tell you to kill me. Perhaps you would like to oblige her?
Yeah, stand right next to me. That's a great idea, isn't it? If you've been observing me, you'll know just how stabby I am. Fucking homing bolts. The fuck is that? Was she someone we were supposed to find? I think I remember someone saying that someone of that name was missing. What's this? Nuala Ignis. Ignis, yeah. Real subtle game. What do you suppose someone whose surname Ignis is going to be specialised in, eh? Is it ice, perhaps? Cruel Feyblades is something to do with crit, I think. I think crit chance. I think everything's crit chance though, so I might be wrong. What did I pick up? Sunstone. Walls of flame slowly spin beneath the surface of this crystal sphere. Warm to the touch and heavier than its size suggests, the Sunstone's purpose is as enigmatic as its origin. Cool. Another floaty book with the sigil of the Scholia Arcana above it. Ah, that's interesting. The sigil changes position depending on the position of the observer. It always turns to face you. Well, this was quite a big interior space, wasn't it? I knew we'd come out here because I did see the jump point when I was coming through. I didn't realise it would be quite this big. Also realised we're about 20 minutes over time, but that's okay. I'll finish the stream once we're out of here. God, I hope there are no traps up here. What a shitty place to leave a trap, eh? Nah, we're fine. Just a jump point. And then out. Should I take the time to hand in the quests now rather than wait until Wednesday? That may make more sense. Ending times are approximate. Yes, ending times are approximate. Yeah, let's hand in the quests here so that these people
Oh yes, welcome.
so that I'm not like leaving it 2 days before we find out what happens. Be a bit much to expect me to remember exactly what was happening. I don't know about you guys.
It was Nuala Ignis who stirred the magics of Aod. At least now we may restore the balance of the ruin before the rest of Dalentarth is engulfed in flames. What is this? You caught her crafting this, you say? Remarkable. Just utterly remarkable. That might explain her behavior. Breaching the seals of Aod should have been far beyond her capacity. Not to mention whatever this is, I have never seen the like. It is as if the element of fire were given physical form.
What, like phlogiston?
You have done well. I have another assignment for you when you are ready. In the meantime, I shall be studying this sunstone. For generations, the lords of Kandrian Keep have ruled over various parts of the plains of Erethel. Kandrian Keep is the ancestral seat of power.
You would think it would be more like developed, like there would be, because when you have a keep that that functions as a seat of power like that, you tend to have a build-up like directly around it of the attendant community. Like they don't set up a day or so's travel away, or even a few hours away, really.
Melaglir is a trade hub between the great cities of Odessa to the south and Rathir to the north. Lately, however, the town has been experiencing a number of disappearances.
Okay, we'll pick up that quest next time.
Oh, goodbye then.
You've returned. Have you found them?
Yes.
Then you must tell me, please.
Wait, was it Casera? I think so. Dang it.
Very well. But I'm eager to learn what happened that night. Goodbye!
Goodbye! Was it Casera? Plans laid out, yeah. Alaran and Bertrand are on board. Bertrand... some kind of dead weight, I guess, after it all. And Alaran... went a bit nuts. Bertrand thought he could just watch Casera die and still think he was innocent. Yeah, that's a lot.
Please, tell me what transpired between them. Then you must tell me, please. Yes, I suspected as much. Casera has a strong will and thinks with much agility. I am not surprised to learn this is her doing. Very well. What happened next? Regrettable. It truly is. He was neither as strong as Aloran nor as smart as Casera. I see how they might have turned on him. And so? What of the third? Yes. Aloran often trusted too much in his own skill, and did not properly understand his environment. The She would have made quick work of him. Those fools. All this bloodshed over a gem. And now, I cannot even bring myself to look at it. better, I think, that you keep it. In addition, I will discount my services to you, should you ever be in need of them. Thank you again.
Thanks, dude. Sorry about your loss. Sell some junk.
Goodbye!
And we're straight back to being super cheery. The British Nation Archives has a full PDF copy of the Doomsday Book. Wow, that's cool. It's probably in... when was it written? Like the 13th century? It's probably in super early Middle English. So it might just about be readable if you take your time, and probably if you're familiar with some German. Or would no, hold on. Old English is German, Germanic roots. Middle English is probably more French. Probably got some French and Latin in it. You might just about be able to work it out if you're careful and take your time. That's a variant of Latin. Ah, no, that makes sense. Because Latin was the language of scholars and writers, and because the Bible was exclusively written in Latin until was it the King James Bible? Until someone translated the Bible, and so that into modern English, well, into usable English, into a version of English, so that everyone could read it rather than just priests who would then interpret it and tell people what they interpreted from it. Which came later, like in the 16th or 15th or 16th century. So yeah, it makes sense that it would be in Latin. Latin was the language of scholars and bookkeepers and like people who... and scribes, yeah. Well, it was originally written in Aramaic, then translated into Latin. The New Testament, that is. Yeah. But so the reason I bring that up is Latin was therefore, until the Bible was translated into English, Latin was the language of scribes and of people who wrote. It was the academic language. So anything written with any seriousness at the time, not like personal communiques, but like if you wrote a book, it would be in Latin because that was the language of writing in books at the time of the contemporary with the writing of the compiling, I suppose, of the Doomsday Book. And yeah, it was only the writing of... I'm pretty sure that it was the Doomsday... No, not the Doomsday. The King James Bible, but it might have been an earlier version of the Bible, which was exclusively... Well, it was to open up the Bible and make it more accessible. But anyway, yes, we're about half an hour over time. But thank you for watching. This has been Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. I have been Rich. Nomically, not fiscally, sadly. We shall return, pick up this quest from this guy, and hopefully he'll tell me about the disappearances in the Kandrian Plain. We're a bit of a way away from the Kandrian Plains, but hopefully he'll tell me about the disappearances in Melaglir, and we'll investigate that. And we also have... Rathir to visit, probably. We might go this way through up to the Red Marches. There might be a few more things in Rathir, although I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, we started this quest chain in Rathir, and it brought us to Issa. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I should be back on Wednesday. I know on Friday I didn't really feel like streaming. By the way, if...
So tired.
I'll have a nap then. If you are curious about why I'm starting late, if I haven't started streaming by about 20 past, half past 8, check my Twitter. I should probably have decided by that point that I don't feel like streaming, if I don't feel like streaming, and made a tweet about it. Or, I mean, like, sometimes I do start as late as about 8:20. But yeah, unless I say otherwise, I will be streaming, and if you are curious, I will say otherwise on Twitter. I hope to see you on Wednesday, but whether I do or not, whenever it happens to be that I see you again, and I hope that I do, I hope you have a nice time. Goodbye.